You're offering a premium treatment.
Yes, value for money wise, and what you achieve with NeoGen is far in excess of what you would get.
Well, thank you for asking me that question, Louise. I'm envisaging 8 NeoGens in the future.
I was very nervous, but now I've mastered the technique. I'm very confident now. And I'm not just saying that because I'm sat here doing a podcast, because I'm very proud to be the owner of a NeoGen.
Welcome to the NeoGen podcast. I'm Simon Jones, president of Energist in the UK. We manufacture the NeoGen. And today we are hosting a NeoGen podcast with a practitioner who has had multiple success of using NeoGen in their clinic. They've achieved so much with their own clinic in terms of outstanding treatment results and skincare. My first guest, which I'm very, very pleased to be talking with, is Louise Langford, who is the founder of the Langford Skin Clinic. And we are going to have a really interesting conversation about your clinic and how NeoGen has made a big difference to you. Welcome, Louise.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, I'm really, really grateful for your time today and look forward to learning more about how NeoGen has been an asset to you and how your clinic is an asset to your patients. Okay. So I've got some questions for you.
Okay.
Promise to take it easy on you. So, first question. You've built the Langford Skin Clinic into a trusted destination for advanced skin treatments. What inspired you to create a clinic that focuses on medical, aesthetics, and long-term skin health?
I started my business 34 years ago and went sort of down the normal road of the most popular treatments that you see in most clinics. And I was sort of underwhelmed a lot of the time with the results that I was receiving. So about 10 years ago, I kind of changed everything and went more down the medical grade route of skincare and more advanced technology. So as I'm getting a little bit older myself, I want those true results. I want those long lasting results. I want to be wowed when I have a treatment. So it was quite an exciting journey when I first came across my first device. And then from there, it's just grown quite rapidly. I now have 7 different devices in my clinic. So I'm kind of outgrowing my space that I have now, but it's all working really, really well.
Well, that's you're having 7 devices in your clinic is a huge investment. So you've
Yes.
really gone for it. And how long ago was it that when you bought your NeoGen?
Last January, so a year and 2 months.
Okay, all right. So that's great. Well, hopefully we'll get to contrast how that purchase of a NeoGen fits within the combination of all of those other tools that you have to treat people. That's great that we've got such a great benchmark to talk about. So it's clear that you emphasize that great skin is a combination of treatments and lifestyle.
Yes.
How do you guide your patients to care for both their skin on the inside and the outside?
So I've always believed that obviously if clients come in with a skin condition, that generally that's coming from inside. So it's all about inflammation. So I do offer a range of very high quality supplementation. So we're feeding the body from within as well as topically. So I always put a skincare and health plan together when my clients come in from the first day of their consultation. If I'm guiding them through a course of treatments, it all comes together as a package. So I can obviously see that if I'm treating them from within, we're treating the cause as well as we're treating the topical skin, and I get the best results from that. And so it's not just a one-off treatment, it's a journey that I go on with my clients, and I always state that in a consultation. You know, this isn't just a one-time fix. This is a journey that we're going to take you on, and we work together with that. So we have plenty of conversation and communication at the clinic as well as after. I get them to text me with how they're feeling on a day-to-day basis, sending me pictures, guiding them through it if they've got any concerns, and people are so excited at their results.
Oh, that sounds brilliant. In terms of offering a skin journey plan for somebody, it seems like a really comprehensive process that you follow, which getting to the root cause, as you said.
Exactly.
And is obviously, if you get to the root cause of problems, you fix them, and then you get the better results. So I really buy into your process there. On average, how long could a skin journey be?
Never ending, really.
Never ending. Yeah.
I tend to find that if I've put them on an initial program, we then go on to maintenance afterwards. So depending on their finances, age group, depends on how often they visit me. Generally, I see most clients on a monthly basis, and I don't tend to lose a client once they start to come to me. And I think because they're seeing real results and it's not just a promise. I mean, skin is skin at the end of the day. I get some clients that text and say, am I too old? I'm 73 or I'm 80. You're never too old, because skin is skin at the end of the day. And sometimes I think with NeoGen, what's impressed me more than anything is I think to myself, how much of a result am I going to get on that particular client who is extremely wrinkled and got, I mean, I've got some amazing befores and afters. And when I see the result, it brings me to tears sometimes. No. And I think throughout my time as being a therapist, I've never seen such quick, amazing transformations. And I do campaigns that I run all the time, advertising the NeoGen and radio frequency and different treatments that I do in the clinic. And regardless of what they're coming into me for, they tend to walk out with NeoGen. That's or a combination.
Well, that's understandable from my perspective, because I know that the NeoGen can really treat from a very young age to a very old age. Mm-hmm. I've seen patients in their 80s and even 90s being treated with NeoGen, because it's about thickening the skin rather than making it thinner. So it's great to hear that you're treating all ages there, Louise, with regards to your clinic. And you mentioned there around the contact that you have with your customers virtually on a daily basis. Is that what you said?
For the first few days of their journey, I have literally put a script together that I send to them, what to expect day 1 to day 7, how to use their skincare, send me pictures, on day 3, day 5, day 7, so I can guide them through. But I always really talk them through what to expect, so they don't get to that day and they're like, what's happening to me? Because I remember when I first had my treatment, I did wake up and have an oh my God moment, which is quite funny because I make a joke of that. Because I think the thing is with NeoGen, there's so little downtime. And that's what I think is the most important thing today, because I treat a lot of professional people that don't want to have weeks of downtime or lock themselves away in the house and not be able to go out to the shop. I mean, sometimes when I've done a treatment on clients, I'll say, you can go and shop at Aldi because you look fantastic. Do you know what I mean? Or not Aldi, but whatever supermarket they want to go
if
to.
If a NeoGen customer, they could be shopping at Aldi or John Lewis. It really
exactly.
It's for everybody.
And it's only because I have an Aldi close to me. That's why I said that. But, it's one of those treatments like on day 1, you look absolutely incredible walking out of the clinic. And you don't really see that very much with more aggressive treatments. And I love the fact that, you see that result immediately, but then it just keeps getting better. You think, is this the end of my journey? No, you wake up the next day and it looks better. And this is what I say to my clients, and that's the excitement.
And I do think that whilst you can have a great technology and a great clinic, actually by having that personal touch that you're describing with your customers, and the fact is you've also said that they come back to you time and time again for more treatment. I think it's a really important factor that you've got their trust and you've got that great communication, which I've seen elsewhere is vitally important, and the more successful clinics have that personal touch. So I think you're doing a fabulous job in terms of managing your customer expectations and communication. Well done.
I mean, I have a lot of clients that come to me who've never had any type of, advanced technology or used advanced skincare before. So they start with me from scratch, and it's a journey because it's understanding. So I educate them a lot. I spend a lot of time with them through consultation before we go on our journey together. So they understand exactly what's going to happen, how to use their treatments. So Simon, obviously I've been in this industry for 34 years and I've seen such a shift in the industry. What kind of shift have you seen? And are people looking for more advanced holistic treatments than quick fixes?
Yes, so I've been in this industry for just 10 years just gone, so not as many years as yourself. However, I have noticed a few things that are changing from speaking with practitioners all over the world, and I see the trend is that more consumers are asking for regenerative treatments for they're starting younger in terms of looking after their skin. So in terms of taking the regenerative one first, I see practitioners are offering more regenerative treatments that go well with wellness. So it's not just about aesthetics, it's thinking about providing the patient with a skin journey that enables them to address the root cause of their problems, and then they can actually get the health of the skin to be in a better place, so that the appearance becomes like a byproduct of that. We're not focusing on achieving an appearance in the first entity. We're actually looking to address some of the skin issues that are there that need to be corrected for the appearance then to become through naturally. So it's regenerative that I'm seeing. I'm also seeing the consumers of a younger age. So rather than wait until they are older and then having maybe some bigger treatment, they're having a smaller treatment starting earlier. So these aren't significant treatments; they're quite minimal, but they do allow the skin to maintain the collagen and the elastin levels that they want to maintain through their life. So they're basically, it's a bit like an analogy of having a car and taking it into the garage to get it serviced, so that the performance of that car will perform for a lot longer and better, and it's going to go on a lot longer before it breaks down, if you get what I see.
I do think that obviously with social media and so many more things available for the younger generation to see, that's where they're seeing all of these new technologies and treatments available, and they're much more aware of what's available, so they're seeking it.
Absolutely. I think the change in, as you rightly say, social media has had a huge effect on the choice, the amount of information that is out there, which is just the social media is becoming the most important thing to generate treatment demand, which is making it so important for the clinic to get right. So I definitely agree with you in terms of the social media fueling all of those trends. I'd also say, just looking at injectables, the injectables are always going to be around, but maybe the trend is downwards a little bit over the last couple of years, because people are looking for more natural treatments and holistic treatments. So with NeoGen, we're not saying that we're taking over injectables. We're not saying that at all. We're saying that we can provide a NeoGen treatment that gives you the best skin you can have, which can bring volume to your skin. It certainly increases the thickness of the skin, and that volume will give you, and the treatment will give you the best skin that you can have. Then, after the skin has settled down, then it's appropriate for the practitioner or the client to talk about whether there's a need for injectables. And if there is a need, it's probably going to be less volume is required from that injectable in terms of the milliliters injected. Have you had that experience in your clinic?
Obviously, I am a doctor-led clinic, and I have Kate, who has joined me, and we do look at a whole program and how to integrate that within a treatment plan. So obviously, looking at the client from the start of her journey, like we said earlier, that getting the skin in great health before you start doing the injectables is, I think, the way forward, because you are helping the client to achieve much better results. And like you say, with NeoGen, it's not only increasing the collagen elastin, we're getting that natural hyaluronic acid effect. So their skin is looking beautiful, dewy. And I say to my clients, don't chase every line. It's the quality and the texture and the clarity of your skin. If that is looking healthy, you look a lot younger. And I think from where injectables first started, they were over-injecting, they were over-Botoxing, people were looking like aliens, they weren't looking like themselves. And now things are done a lot less and more so naturally than it ever has been. And so it's just enhancing, it's the icing on the cake if they need it. So with all the new, polynucleotides and exosomes and growth factors and all the things that we can add in, it all enhances the results of the treatment.
Great. So I'm going to ask you about the user day that you had. You said you bought your device sometime last year, early last year, and you had an amazing outcome from your user day. Do you want to talk to me about what you achieved and how you achieved it and why it was so special, please?
I think because I offer a very intimate clinic environment, and I am very close to a lot of my clients, and they've been with me for years. And Susie came in and gave me a demonstration back in the November, and we stayed in communication, and then we organised this open day in the January. And she said, just invite a half dozen of your clients. I'd already been talking to clients about it. I hadn't made my mind up at this point that I was actually taking NeoGen, as I like to do my research and I like to see what the outcome is on myself. And so she said, set up, this day. And so I invited half a dozen of my clients. We offered them a reduced cost treatment, and Susie performed all of the treatments while I was chatting with them, and we were talking through the treatments. And anyway, I said to them, ladies, today, obviously this is the first day of my journey with NeoGen. I put a great offer out. If you'd like to take advantage of that, then if you book today, then, you'll get this nice chunky discount. And they all booked.
So 6 out of 6 then?
6 out of 6.
6 out of 6. Well, that's a fantastic result.
6 out of 6.
Well done. And I think your business has just taken off from there, hasn't it? Basically, in terms of the impact of NeoGen, could you articulate in terms of the difference it's made to your clinic?
It's my number one treatment,
and
I obviously have other treatments that I use also with the NeoGen, and I do campaigns that run all the time through social media, and it's me videoing myself. Well, I video and explain how the treatment works, and if they're interested, click on the link, and then they come through to me. So they've already met me on social media, and they've already seen that I'm approachable, I know what I'm talking about, and they click on a link and they leave me some details of what they're interested in, and it talks them through a few different questions, asking them what their concerns are. And then I pop on the phone and I do a phone consultation, and then they come in for a face-to-face consultation. And basically, I think I'm getting between 15, 25 inquiries a week just for NeoGen.
Awesome.
Just for NeoGen.
Awesome.
And then I'm probably getting, I would say, between 7 and 10 committing to come in for a consultation, because obviously the price point, I always explain that on the phone so that they're aware of what it entails and whether they can afford it. So basically, that's when we set up a consultation. And generally, I probably get 7 out of 10 bookings from that.
From the 15?
From the 15, yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Are you looking to sell NeoGens at all? Because that's a really good closure rate. So I'm really impressed with how you go from 15 down to 7 to 10 and then convert those as well. So I think it's really...
Even if clients come in with an inquiry for another treatment, by the time I've explained the benefits of NeoGen, they go out buying NeoGen, or a combination.
And how about word of mouth? Is that helping? Do your patients that have
Absolutely.
NeoGen, do they kind of share their experience with other potential clients? Because
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So I did a consultation on Friday on a client She'd made her mind up before she even came in. She probably didn't even want me to go and explain anymore. She literally handed me a credit card and paid for a course of treatments, left without even making a first appointment. She was just so excited to book and pay. And then she contacted me yesterday to say, this is the date I can start, because she had travel plans. So she needed to be able to slot them in. And she said, I'm so excited about coming in for my treatment. I've already shared it on the girls group. And so I am planning on doing another big open day in mid-April, doing similar thing to what I did on my first open day, but on a bigger scale. And generally, I do big events, and I'll hire out a restaurant, and I'll have all my reps and what have you. They come to the event, and we allow clients to see how the treatment works, explain it a little bit more, and it's always been really successful. So we're doing that again, but we're doing it in the same format as what we did in the first time, but probably have four times as many people there this time.
Well, it sounds like you have a really excellent recipe for success there, Louise, which
I think
is an example for others.
When you believe in something, you see the results, you know what results they're going to get. It's an easy sell, because I'm not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. I know with all my befores and afters that I show clients, they're from my clients, they're my photographs, and they can clearly see the difference. I did one lady, I'll just tell you this story, and unfortunately, bless her heart, her husband died very suddenly, and going through her grieving process, she felt she aged quite rapidly. I mean, when we took the before picture, and then she had 1 NeoGen and 2 radio frequency facials, she looked 10 years younger. And even her daughter said, "Mum, you've come back." And now she hugs me every time she comes in and tells me I'm her best friend. So for me, it's the joy of seeing how you can transform how people feel about themselves, and especially when they've been something like that and they feel they're not themselves. And I think NeoGen is just a tonic. It really is a tonic. It's so exciting. I can't wait. I probably do between 8 and 10 treatments a week, and that's growing week in, week out. I can't sing its praises enough. It's the best treatment that I've ever performed in my 34 years. I love it.
Oh, that's really, really, really cool to hear. It's really, for me to hear that is very, very special, because, having supported NeoGen for 10 years, to see it work so well for you and for your patients is really special. So that's really cool.
And it's a nice treatment to perform as well. It's exciting because you can see that physically working. It's not boring. I never get bored of doing them. I'm excited every time somebody comes in. So, yes.
Yeah. So a couple of extra questions in terms of, because it being your number one go-to piece of equipment, are you using mainly low energy for your treatments, or are you going into mid? What kind of energy are you using to
Obviously,
achieve?
I've got the spa.
So it's low energy then, basically.
So, yes, but I possibly start them on the medium setting. But if they're hardcore and they've been long-term clients and had other treatments, I'll go straight in with the high. And yes.
So using you used the word transformation just a minute ago, didn't you? Yeah?
Yes.
You've achieved a transformational result using between 0.5 joules and 0.8 joules, which is at the top end of the spa energy settings. So I really love that, because I think there is the history of NeoGen being used around the world. It started with high energy. When I talk about high energy, I'm talking about 3 joules, yeah?
Yeah.
A lot of energy, which will be a significant recovery.
Yes.
But nowadays, the practitioners, the trend has moved to the lower energy. So between the 0.5 and the 0.8, with some going into the 1 joule to 1.5, which we call medium energy. So what I love is actually we're finding a sweet spot now, which is achieving transformational results, or very noticeable results, with single treatments or package treatments, but the downtime is very, very tolerable for the patients. So that, and you mentioned that earlier, that's a very important part in terms of why your patients are uptaking this treatment.
I mean, as a practitioner, sometimes when I think about having a treatment myself, I think, oh, what have I got planned? Have I got enough time to recover and look good for that event or this event or whatever I might have planned? And I think with NeoGen, I can literally pinpoint, right, if I do it on that day, I'll be recovered by this day and my skin is going to look fantastic, without the fact that I've got to hide away from my day-to-day living and plans, which I think is really, really appealing to so many people.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that your patients can go shopping potentially after they've had a
Or they
treatment,
don't want their husbands to know that they're having any treatment at all.
and they can get away with that.
90% of the time.
Wow.
Depends. They'll wear a scarf because obviously the neck is always more visual than the face. So, they generally can get away with it.
Well, that's great again to support why low energy can achieve great results with minimal downtime. You've brought on board a doctor into your practice.
Yes, Kate.
How's that going, Kate?
Yes. Yeah? Well, we get on so well. We work so well together, and it's exciting to take her on the journey as well, because I already had her trained on NeoGen, so she loves doing the treatment, and she wants to grow from there. And I obviously have her trained on all the other treatments that I offer, and we just work really well as a team. So it's nice for me to have that backup, because I've worked on my own now for quite a considerable time. I used to have quite a large salon with 8 treatment rooms and 5 staff. And I kind of downgraded from that and started working by myself, which I preferred, because
less reliance on other things.
Yes, and I could concentrate not on whether they were getting the treatments right or they were dealing with customers right. But now we are transitioning again, and we are possibly looking for premises, because I'm outgrowing myself and all my treatments that I offer, and I want to obviously bring in more.
I'm envisaging 8 NeoGens in the future in each one of those treatment rooms.
I mean, I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking, oh, maybe we'll need 2 at this rate.
Awesome. Susie, follow up. So that's brilliant. In terms of, I don't want to put you under pressure to disclose pricing. Okay, It's up to you whether you want to do that or not. But I have heard that you're offering a premium treatment and a premium service.
Yes.
So you're not shy of actually having quite a reassuringly expensive price tag. Is that correct? Have I got that right?
I'm not. I think value for money wise and what you achieve with NeoGen is far in excess of what you would get with other treatments that cost more than the NeoGen. And I think I've evolved over the last sort of 10 years from your normal facials at £75, £100, whatever their pricing may be, which is just a very superficial treatment, looks great on the day, but a few days later, you're back to square one. And then I moved on to another treatment, which was £450 a treatment. And I was, oh my goodness, how are people going to afford to pay that price? And I was getting people travelling up to me from London or literally an hour away, because I was the only person in the area offering that treatment, which I still do. And I utilise that with NeoGen because it has 3 different modalities on there that I can incorporate with NeoGen. So I do IPL, radiofrequency nanofractional. And so when I then decided to take NeoGen, I was going up another level, but it didn't frighten me, because I thought the value that you get from the NeoGen, the treatments and the results are well in line with the price point. And so I put together a package of 3 treatments, including medical grade skincare. And I've kind of cherry picked the things that, and also taken the advice from, obviously Susie and Sarah on what to use as aftercare. I use a Lumiere MD, but I also use All Skin Med and Anti-Age. And basically I've cherry picked from those. I've put together a great treatment plan so that the client goes away with everything she needs and she doesn't have to worry about it, and then put one price together for everything. But then I add in maybe a little bit of IPL, because obviously NeoGen doesn't treat red veins, and it just helped to bring out that pigmentation a little bit more, and also LED. So I incorporate all of that and give them a really good discount as a package, and it's selling like hotcakes.
Good, good, good. So if we can talk about the combination aspect a little
Yes.
bit more, if that's okay. So I get what you've just described there in terms of there's a package with different energy devices with skincare in as well. There's a journey, there's a plan, and there's a result at the end of it,
Yes.
which is very valuable and very comprehensive. So what is working for you in terms of combining with other modalities or to energies or injectables? What would you say was your number 1 and 2 combination?
So mainly IPL, only because you can target red veins, obviously. And I do treat a lot of people who have rosacea. And I've found using that combination in particular, I can see the difference within one treatment. I mean, it's quite remarkable. I've had a client who has suffered for years and years with breakouts, with rosacea, uncomfortable, irritated skin, not finding the right products, not being able to calm her skin down. One NeoGen, putting her on medical grade skincare. Obviously, I did an IPL, and I then followed it up with several LED treatments afterwards to help keep her skin calm. Literally, she has not had a breakout since she first started.
And I imagine she had those breakouts forever, did she, before?
Her skin was on fire. Wow. It was so uncomfortable when she first came to me. She just looked like she'd been, like really red and irritated, angry. Her eyes were all puffy and swollen. It's transformational. It is transformational. So those 3 I tend to use together. I am going to play around a little bit with the other treatments. Radio frequency, again.
Is that a microneedling device?
So nanofractional is using radio frequency through little pins. Yeah. So it doesn't penetrate the skin. It uses radio frequency. So it's like burning tiny little nanofractional wounds in the skin.
Okay.
So it coagulates and ablates at the same time. There's less downtime, no anesthetics required. And I can just pinpoint and target different areas with that. So all of them can be used really together. So I'm yet to find somebody who's willing to have, it's called a tribella with NeoGen. I'm going to be the guinea pig. I'm going to try it next week.
Sounds good. If NeoGen's involved, it's going to, as you say, it's going to add to the probability of that being a great treatment. So
yes,
that sounds amazing. How about the eyes or eyes, neck, hands? Tell me about how NeoGen is helping your patients there.
I mean, the eye area I think that's what the greatest selling point is, because there's not a lot out there that you can use above and below the eyes right up to the eyelid. And it's been the most appealing part of it, especially for ladies who are 45 years old who are starting to see that creping around the eyes. So I was very nervous at first when I first started treating the eye area. But now I've mastered the technique of getting the clients to lift their brows up, which helps them because sometimes it can make them jump and their eyes flicker. But I'm very confident now. I'm very confident. I love doing the eyes.
So for the benefit of everybody out there in terms of why NeoGen is so special for the eyes, you can actually treat right up to the lash line and up to the brows. So you can get 2-3 passes in here in terms of firing the pulses here. And then not only do you get the lift on the eyelid, which does happen, you get an improvement in the crow's feet.
Definitely.
And you get a reduction in the bags. And if there's discoloration in the bag area as well, maybe dark circles, I've seen dark circles being improved as well.
100%.
Yeah. So you get all of those benefits from a treatment which you can treat right up to the lash line and the brow without any ocular shields.
Yes.
And ocular shields are good for safety, but not necessarily good for a patient experience.
I haven't done many backs of the hands yet, and I think I need to sort of start offering that as a sort of an extra, adding it on. So I think from the perspective of just being able to navigate through the courses and putting all of that package together, and with it being obviously a higher price point, I've really sort of not added the extra bits on. But now I think people who've had, because I generally sell face, neck and eyes as that package. I've had a few people just have the lower face done, or I've had somebody have just the eye area done, but not many. They mostly choose face, neck and eyes for the balance. So now it's like once I've finished the course, I'm then talking to them about their décolleté area. Décolletage. I know, yes. There's so many different ways of saying it. Yeah. So yes, I feel like I've not even touched the surface yet. Yeah. I'm still on this journey. It's growing and growing faster than I can possibly imagine that it would. I've never took something on that's been so in demand. And you know what I love the most about Energist as a company is you guys are so supportive. You're constantly in contact with me, asking me if there's anything you can do, extra training. You're always keeping your eye on me, making sure that I'm happy. And the marketing and everything that you've put out there has just generated so much awareness about this treatment. And I'm then putting all my campaigns out there that run alongside what you guys are saying. So people are literally Googling you right, left and centre, following you on social media and seeing, or people are organically coming to me saying, oh my God, I can't believe NeoGen is near to me. I've seen it on the TV. I've seen it in the magazines. I've seen it on social media. So whatever you're doing, keep doing, because I swear you are creating such an audience out there, an awareness about these advanced technologies that a lot of people were unaware of. But now it's becoming on the lips of a lot of people. And people are just talking about it in general. When they come to me, they'll tell half a dozen of their friends. So it's crazy. The support, I cannot thank you enough for the support, because a lot of companies, they say they're going to support you and you never hear from them again when you've bought the machine. And it's disappointing.
That's really, really nice to hear. Again, it's lovely to get the feedback. That's what we stand for at Energist. We believe we are really putting ourselves in a place where partnership is at the top, customer service is at the top, education, training, and to receive that feedback about the support on all of those things, and especially around how the marketing that we're doing is helping you. I can imagine the likes of the advertising that's happened around, or not necessarily the PR that's happened around Shirley Ballas and Linda Lusardi has been very helpful for you.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, I just mentioned Shirley Ballas. I showed them the picture and they're like, wow. And I mean, she only had the very lowest.
Yeah, she did. Energy. Jules, yeah.
And to get that result is incredible.
And she's still having treatments as well. Linda and Shirley do not want to stop having treatments because it fits their lifestyle. They love the results. So they're not prepared to give it up, which is excellent news. And can I just share a little story?
Yes.
You talk about us doing a good job in terms of marketing. My father texted me this morning and he said, have you seen the NeoGen in Wales Sport article today, or Wales Online? And I'm like, no. But I've even got my father noticing NeoGen now, which is incredible. So it's popping up in all different places. In the last couple of weeks, I can recall at least 3 things. Good Housekeeping, for example.
But when I first heard about NeoGen, I really didn't, and I'm being honest, I didn't take much notice. I was very much unaware of you. But in that time, from that point to here, I feel like you are taking the aesthetic industry by storm. I really do. I think you're on the lips of everybody regarding the, all the results that are coming out, that people are really listening. Their ears are perking up. And I'm hoping that not too many people take it on around myself, because at the moment, I'm the only one in Nottingham that has it. And that's obviously beneficial to me. But I'm also about competition is also healthy. It just generates more interest in the treatment.
Well, I think hold on, because it's going to get bigger and better. I can guarantee that. It's really good to hear that we've achieved a lot and it's helped you in terms of generating all of that organic demand for you. We're not sitting down being complacent. We're actually pushing harder and harder.
Yep.
So it can only get better in terms of the consumer demand that we're going to help drive to our clinics in the UK, and we're trying to replicate this with our distributors around the world as well. So thank you very much for that compliment. That's
all right.
lovely to hear.
So, Simon, what's your advice for a clinic who's looking for a new device?
Well, thank you for asking me that question, Louise. So I'd put it into, you've got to choose the right technology and you've got to choose the right company. Okay. So you want to choose a technology that is going to allow you to achieve the most treatments you can. Yeah. So it's got to be something that is able to tap into any age, any skin type, any gender, any skin condition. So that's the first thing. That's about versatility in terms of being able to treat across the board. The second thing would be tailorability, if there is such a word, being able to tailor your solutions to the market that you have. So what I'm talking about here is, as you described in your practice, that you're able to combine NeoGen as part of the skin journey. So NeoGen is very, very tailorable. We can the practitioner can hold a consultation and understand exactly what they're trying to achieve, how much energy they put in to achieve the result, what's the client's attitude to downtime, how deep do we need to penetrate, how much of the epidermis do we need to resurface. So there are a number of variations that can be played to make it tailorable for the client. So those are the two things. Being able to combine, as we've talked about earlier, and we've already heard from you how you combine it in your clinic. It's very combinable with injections and other energy-based devices. It also increases the skin permeability. So if you're going to use exosomes or polynucleosides or any other topical after treatment, having a treatment increases that permeability by 8 times in the first hour. That's proven. That's fact. That is a study from Swansea University in the last couple of years. So those are the 3 things I would recommend about the technology. In terms of the other thing you need to think about the company you're buying it from. So Energist, and thank you for the compliments earlier, we do stand for customer service, customer support. We have really good reliability on the device, as I'm sure you've experienced. And we have people ready to help. Engineers, marketing, clinical, customer service, myself. We're all there for you. So I would say if you're going to buy a new device, think about the versatility, the tailorability, the combinability, and the effect of that device, the safety of that device, but also think about the company you're buying from. And, with Energist being in Swansea, it's perfect for the UK. What do you think about that?
I totally agree. Because after I've been in business for a very long time, I have bought things without really doing my due diligence through total excitement or is this the latest trend, I must have it, or the excitement of the representative that comes to do the demonstration, this is the best thing, and blah, 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 blah. And they kind of get you into this false sense of security. So obviously my maturity and being in the business for as long as I have, I definitely do my due diligence. So, having NeoGen come and do a demonstration for me initially and allowing me time to have that time to see what my result was and what my outcome was before then I decide to purchase the machine was one of the greatest sales points. From your perspective, there was not a lot of pushing, but there was a lot of support and any questions that I needed to ask were answered. So from that perspective, I didn't feel pushed or in a position where I had to make a decision. So from that perspective, I was allowed to make my own decision from that point, and it's the best one I made. And I'm not just saying that because I'm sat here doing a podcast. I'm very excited and honoured that you asked me here today because I'm very proud to be the owner of an NeoGen. And I sing its praises all the time to everybody I speak to. It is my number one thing. I'm probably boring people talking about it now, but I do love every minute of it. And thank you for having me here today because, I've really enjoyed it.
Once again, thank you so much for, your comments today, your sharing your experiences, which have been really insightful, and in terms of showing how you can make and have made such a success. And I can tell that you're going to take it to the next level as well from what you said today. So I'm really, really grateful for everything that you're doing at the moment and for today's podcast. And yeah, I think it's been fantastic.
It
Been
has.
really
It's
enjoyable.
my first one.
Yeah.
Your first one. So,
I
I've
think
been excited all week about it. I've been
Good.
telling all my clients. They're all waiting on social media to see me. So, that's been nice.
So I think we can give ourselves a pat on the back for what we've done today. And I look forward to hearing from you again, Louise, in
You will
terms
be.
of...
Don't worry, you won't get rid of me.
No, I can tell it's going to be another success story in a short while. So thank you ever so much for your time today.
You're very welcome.
I'm really, really grateful.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, that concludes the NeoGen podcast with Louise Langford. For those practitioners who are looking to learn more about NeoGen Plasma, please could you go to either our social media accounts or could you go to our website, www.neogenplasma.co.uk, where you will find lots more information about NeoGen. And in terms of just a thank you, a big thank you to Mango Eyes for the production of this podcast. It's been a wonderful service. So looking forward to hearing from you. And if you're a consumer looking for a NeoGen treatment, we have a page dedicated to all of our practices in the UK. So you'll find that page on www.neogenplasma.co.uk and go there, have a look around you, what's going on in your location, and you'll see that we have a good number of clinics around the UK now where you can go and have a consultation and learn how to have one of the best treatments in the world, NeoGen Plasma. Thank you.